live Thursday, March 20th. We are, I think we're 34 days away from the NFL draft starting. So almost under a month. Exciting times because
Thank
there's really
God we
not going to
got.
be much news. What's that?
Thank God we got March Madness filling the void of no sports.
Yeah, that time of year when you fill out a bracket about teams you've never even watched or heard before. There's a couple teams like High Point. I was like, what school is High Point? I guess
Seems like every year, yeah.
I guess it's in North Carolina somewhere, a private school, university. So
It's amazing that they even make the tournament. I guess they probably won their conference. So, but
yeah,
they're talking about increasing March Madness. The number of teams. So it's like, what the hell,
all about the money.
what's wrong with what we got? So I don't know.
It's all about the money. Joseph's here. Joseph put a question, so I'm going to we're going to get to that. Garlic bread's here. Always funny
Garlic bread.
to say that name. Down with
Poopy
fun is
pee,
here.
poop, or whatever.
That's not him.
No, that's
him.
another.
I know. I don't know what his name on YouTube is. I know what it is on. Creighton already ruined my bracket. Yeah, I know, right? And what was the other? What was the upset?
Well, it was McNeese State beating Clemson.
Yeah.
But there's a couple more. There's a few more games going on, and yet to be played tonight. And then we got all the games tomorrow too. So
yeah. Joseph is poopy. So
Joseph Miller.
He's Joseph on here. He's something different on Discord and something different on Sleeper. So
okay.
I have to put it all together sometimes.
It's going to take me
a while. But yes, welcome. I had Clemson losing because a guy load went there. Yeah, that's kind of how you fill out brackets, right? It's like,
wow. So he picked the number 12 over a 5.
Yeah.
That's
not
good.
Because of anything basketball related, but doesn't really matter, I guess.
No, not this time of year.
So Joseph, we are doing a Dynasty rookie mock draft. I see we already got half the mock draft filled, which is great. We got 5 spots remaining. The link is here if you want to join it. Landing spots are here. So CBS 3-round mock draft. We'll go through the landing spots before we get started. But yeah, go ahead and start filling up there. We got the 1, the 8, the 9, the 11, and the 12. All open to take. So, but Joseph says if you were going to down tier from Josh Allen to Joe Burrow, what would be an adequate plus? What would you guys want on top of Joe Burrow if you're moving from Allen to Burrow? Any ideas?
I know what I'd take, but it's probably I'd take like a second rounder.
I honestly think that's probably about all you're gonna get. Which means I wouldn't do it. I don't think you're gonna get the first.
No, I don't think so either.
That would be if I was offered a first, I would do it. But anything less, I think I'm kind of like nah.
Yeah,
it's not a big enough jump. I don't think.
Yeah, it could be one of those things where you're sitting on the clock in a rookie draft, and let's say, the 201, 202, and a lot of times, and we'll see from today, like a first round wide receiver falls to this early second round, and like maybe I'd be okay with it. Yeah, I would want a first. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I'd take any first for what it's worth. I'd take a 27 first, 26 first, 28 first when they become available here soon. But yeah, I don't think I would do it for just a second, unless I knew it was like the 201 in this year's draft and I knew the player I was getting and I knew it was like a Matthew Golden or one of these running backs or something, then I'd feel more comfortable. But like a random first, a second, I don't know if I'd do it. I mean, a startable piece. I don't know what kind of league you're playing in and stuff, but a startable piece, whatever that means in your league, if it's a deeper league or something, a wide receiver 2, a running back 2, or something that I can foresee for the next couple of years, I'd be open to as well. But yeah, I mean, Josh Allen's just so. I know Burrow, whenever he's healthy, he's been good, basically, like really good. But he still is a guy who doesn't run the ball, and so it doesn't seem like it's going to matter because they have like no defense, and that's what everyone's making jokes about. They have the 33rd ranked defense and stuff because they're paying Burrow and Higgins and Jamar Chase all the money, but which is great for fantasy. But yeah, it still could be. You could get a kind of a down touchdown year. So
yeah, that's always the fantasy gold, right? Like good offense, bad defense.
Paul, Dad, how would you feel if the Lions drafted Luther Burden, wide receiver, with their first round pick?
No.
He says he's going to be upset. You'd be upset?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it. That's not like current regime is not. I remember getting so upset at draft time with the Lions over the years, and about the last 4 years, it's been marvelous. It's like something. There's a guard out of Alabama that I really like, but if they get one of the edge rushers, that would be good too.
Yeah, he says they need D-line desperately. Lions got to go front 7 with their first pick. Garlic Bite says, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if they do take a wide receiver with their first or second round pick. Just because, J-Mo is coming up on that time where you're going to have to decide if you're going to pay him or not. And you don't really have much else behind that. I know you have Laporta, obviously, but in terms of receivers, like, don't have much behind your top 2 guys. So
no, you don't.
You're always looking. You got to look kind of a year ahead type of thing. And I like Luther Burden, and I wouldn't mind it there. That's who they take in this mock, by the way. That's why Paul was saying that. But yeah, I don't think it's crazy to think they would do that necessarily. So, but let's get to the landing spots because we got the draft. We got 3 spots left. If anyone wants to join, we are doing a Dynasty rookie mock draft. Link is here. I'll repost it in the chat. We got 3 spots open. No one wants to draft near me. Like I smell or haven't showered or something. Then showered. The 9, 11, and 12 are open if you want to hop in there. But let's go through. This is kind of the world we're living in. If the NFL draft went this way, the first 3 rounds happened this way. And by the way, I'm going to be releasing in our Discord historical hit rates. So I go by every round since 2015, every single round, and kind of what's the hit rate on each position: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. I break it down like superstar level, star level, producer, bench, and bust. So it's pretty elaborate stuff. Let's just say, like, if you get drafted 4th round or later, it doesn't look great for really any position, but in particular wide receivers and quarterbacks. But that will be out on the Discord. Might make a video. And yeah, like the stream, if you so please, just gets more eyes on us. Might make a video. Usually those videos don't do well just because it's a lot of like numbers being thrown at you. And I get it. It's kind of hard to follow. So, but I'll definitely be releasing that in the Discord. So if you're not in our Discord, hop in. I'm going to leave that link here. But this is the world we are living in. Cam Ward is a Titan. Travis Hunter is a Patriot. And Joseph Poopy, I'm going to call him Joseph. I'm not going to call him Poopy. He mentioned if he goes to the Pats, is it safe to assume he's primarily playing wide receiver? And it seems that would be the case, right? Because they have no one on that team. They didn't bring anyone in. Ashton Genty is a Raider. Shador Sanders, it falls to the Jets. Ted McMillan is a 49er. Haven't seen that one before. Ted McMillan is a 49er, 11th overall. Tyler Warren is a Colt. Matthew Golden, a Seahawk. So he pairs up with JSN and Cooper Kupp. Colston Loveland, great landing spot to the Chargers. Emeka Ibuka is a Titan, as we talked about. Luther Burden is a first-round pick to the Lions. Jackson Dart to the Browns in the 33rd pick. Omarion Hampton falls to the second round to the Broncos. Caleb Johnson's a Bear. Jalen Knoll is also a Bear. They go back-to-back offensive players. Iowa and Iowa State players, too. Trey Harris, 47th overall to the Cardinals. Jaden Higgins is a Charger. The other Iowa State receiver, Harold Fannin Jr., is a Panther. Quinshawn Judkins is a Chief. Jalen Milroe, a Giant. Trayvon Henderson is a Brown. Isaiah Bond is a Viking. Alec Iomanor is a Patriot. Tej Johnson is a Jet in the 3rd round. DJ Giddens is a Cowboy. I like that. Xavier Restrepo to the Texans. Jack Besh to the Broncos. Jalen Royals to the Packers is interesting. Mason Taylor to the Texans. Torrey Horton to the Browns. Ricky White, don't really see him mocked a lot in the top 3 rounds. Same with Torrey Horton, which is interesting. Both those guys are 3rd round picks, Browns and Chiefs, respectively. Gunnar Helm is an Eagle. And honestly, I haven't scouted this guy. I heard his name, but I haven't scouted him. Jalen Conyers, a tight end. And I remember hearing the name somewhere. I had to look up, and I have to look up again where he's from. Texas Tech. So I need to check that out if he's going to go in the 3rd round. So we're going to be doing a 12-team super flex. Let's go half PPR and then 1.25 tight end premium, which is what we're doing in our listener leagues. So that's why we're doing that. So tight ends are getting 1.75 per reception. Let's see how we're doing. Did we fill it up? Oh, we got 1 spot. If anyone wants to join, I'm going to give it like 2 minutes. I don't want to make everyone wait. So going to give it 2 minutes and then I'm going to get it started here. So, but yeah, any thoughts on those landing spots or anything that jumps out to you or shocks you or you hate, you love?
Seems like probably the last week, been a lot of discussion about quarterbacks and specifically Jackson Dart.
Mm-hmm.
I think last week, and seems to be moving up in a couple of reputable people's mock drafts and stuff like that. And because there's some teams that really are out without quarterbacks right now, so not everybody's going to get one. So it only makes sense. And then I think lately there was like we were messaging about it earlier. And that Milroe from Alabama supposedly ran a 4.3 at his pro day. I heard that on XM radio today. So everybody, and then he had dinner with the Steelers, so they're trying to, plug that guy into somewhere. All he needs is his feet to get fixed, and he's got all the other tools and everything else. So I don't know, just normal pre-draft stuff, but it affects our fantasy world.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to start it up. So I don't want to make everyone wait. So let's start this bad boy up. I was talking about it. I think yesterday I messaged you. Like, it seems like every year we hear, like this quarterback could go pick 33. He could go first pick of 2nd round on day 2 and stuff. And there's only been two quarterbacks since 2015, so 10 years of drafts that have been taken, in the top 50, 2nd round. So from 33 to 50. Obviously, 1st round picks don't count there. So only 2, and there's only been 6 quarterbacks taken in the 2nd round since 2015. So we think it's going to happen, and it's just easy to mock quarterbacks. That's what it comes down to. But basically, what NFL teams are saying is like, you're either a 1st round pick or like you are not good enough to be a 2nd. You're like a 3rd round or later. So, and it's kind of it's not very good. The hit rate on quarterbacks since 2015, there's only been 3 quarterbacks drafted 3rd round or later that have kind of like hit for fantasy. 4, sorry. Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy are probably the top 2, and then you have like Gardner Minshew, who's like at least a bench player. And like Jacoby Brissett, at least a bench player there.
When was Jalen Hurts drafted?
2nd round.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is 3rd round or later.
And
I mean, the
everybody
second
just
round hit rate is not great either.
yeah, and everybody just kind of went, you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think Philadelphia had a quarterback.
Was it Wentz still? Yeah, Wentz was still there
I
when they
think
drafted.
Wentz, and then
Maybe dealing with injuries at that point.
yeah, I think he was still playing or with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, and everybody just kind of went, you know.
Yeah. So Paul says no Scatterboo in this mock, which is interesting. Garlic Bread says he doesn't think Scatterboo is going to do anything in the NFL. I kind of disagree just because he can catch the ball, he can pass block, he breaks tackles, like that kind of stuff like really translates. I know he's not this home run hitter, blazing speed type of guy. As whoever is, I don't know who Oba is, but I think you could still make your pick if you want. But I'll make the pick for him here in just a few seconds if he doesn't. I kind of think I like Scatterboo. I think he's going to actually be pretty good in the NFL. And yeah, you can just pretend he was taken in the 4th round because like that's kind of like the position. That's the position like that can hit for fantasy is like running backs. Running backs and tight ends, like you're still okay if you're a 4th round pick. You're not. It's not great, but you're much better than the other positions. So, Blue is here and he says it's a 10-man PPR superflex. He traded away Marvin Harrison, the 203, and a 26th third for Ladd in the 107. Thoughts on the players and who won the trade? I'm fine with the Ladd 107 side. I mean, he proved it his rookie year. So, like, obviously, he was better than Marvin Harrison. You get the 107 on top of it, which, you know, we're going to see what the 107, Quinshon Judkins. So, Quinshon Judkins and Ladd McConkey for the Marvin Harrison, the 203 and 26 third, I think is not bad. I think it's not bad. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I think I'd still prefer the Marvin Harrison side, but it's slight. I mean, it's the 13th pick over the 7th, right? Because it's only 10 team. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with either side of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, Dad took Quinshon Judkins at 107, so it's basically him like using this as like the test case, I guess. So it's Ladd and Judkins.
I gotta believe Sanders is gonna go
earlier.
Yeah, earlier. I was just gonna say
no Tyler Warren either. This is tight end premium. Yeah, I'd probably still take Shedeur Sanders here, and I would take Tyler Warren at the 11. So that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. He also mentioned here he has McBride, and he wants to diversify, with the offenses as well. So that's something too,
I get that. I have both those guys and Michael Wilson in a league.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I need Tyler, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Just live or die on that ship.
Yeah. It's not going to take much for Marvin Harrison to start falling down, rankings where we have him though, because it's like he was just hyped as the greatest wide receiver prospect we've seen since Jamar Chase, and he has the name value and all of this, and he went to what we thought was a good landing spot and blah blah blah. So that is something to keep in mind. But I still believe in Marv. I think he's going to be good, whether or not there's concerns there. Joseph says Abuka at the 112 is a see if this is Sniper here. I know, is it Sniper? Man, I got everyone's names are different. Also, I saw something. Oh, Garlic Rice says, what do you guys think of talks of Hampton over Genty, which you're starting to hear now? Marion Hampton is better than Ashton Genty, and I'm curious. And I've mentioned this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just better. Two, if he goes to like the Cowboys and Genty goes like to the Raiders in this draft, I think there will be some drafts where people take Hampton over Genty. because I think the Cowboys landing spot, just because of the name Cowboys, is a little bit more sexy.
Yeah, but that's the only reason is just the name. You can't sit here and say,
Better offense, probably.
yeah, I don't know, because of Dak and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, I'd take Dak and CD over Geno and Bowers. I mean, not to
Which
say anything.
means the Raiders are going to use the running game more.
Yeah, but the argument, teams are always going to run the ball. Like the lowest the team will run the ball is like 40%. That's,
Yeah,
35%,
like Kansas City.
30%. Yeah, not so much just them anymore, but and plus it's like, well, touchdown opportunities are there. So
I like Pete Carroll as the coach to lean on the run a little bit.
yeah.
So and we don't know about Brian Schottenheimer. We know nothing about him, even though he's been an assistant coach in the NFL for 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We see Devin Neal go, who didn't get drafted, trying to keep up. We'll pause it at the end of the second, talk a little bit. Meant to do that at the end of the first, but got caught up.
I double tapped the quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Julian, yeah, no worries if you forgot the landing spots. By the way, we will run another rookie mock draft with everyone if we can get to I don't know, let's say 12 likes. If we hit 12 likes, I'll run another one with you guys. That I know you want to watch your Michigan.
That's fine.
Wolverines, but we'll run another one, 20 minutes.
I got
or
it
so.
on Gamecast, so I can hear the TV around the corner. So
we gotta hit 12 likes. That's our goal there. I think we're at 5 right now, so we should be able to get there. Travis Hunter is an ultra mega smash at this point. Joseph says, has he gone? He has. Oh yeah, he's at the 201 there. Yeah. I mean, again, you just see the money being thrown around to wide receivers. Josh Palmer making $12 million a year. It's like, how do you not choose to be a wide receiver over a cornerback? But
I have some concerns about New England and their offense. They weren't able to do anything in free agency, even though they were throwing money around like a drunken sailor. And so, I mean, I know we're doing rookie here, but I'm thinking like, okay, so what's Drake May? What's it going to turn out to be? What's the offense? I mean, you can't draft a bunch of guys and plug them in and say, oh, well, we got them.
By the way, just so you know.
Huh?
I don't know if you know you're on the clock. You're on the clock.
Who, me? Oh, shit.
Yeah. I thought you were like leading into who you're going to take. You can also tell me if you're not able to pick it.
Yeah, I can pick it. I'll
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, no kidding.
I thought you were like leading into. So this is why I'm taking this player, and then you just kind of stopped. And I was like,
I was thinking about. I've been thinking about New England and just a regular draft.
Yeah, no, I agree with Garlic Bread here. He says like May's going to be a stud. I'm really high on May. Like, I want guys who can run, and he was a legitimate runner. Was on pace for over 650 rushing yards. Like, to me, he can crack that like top 5 of like and difference maker quarterbacks. Yeah, they just need to get the guy weapons, man. Get the guy weapons.
Supposedly Diggs is visiting with him, but
yeah, it's fine. DJ Giddens off the board. I'm gonna go off the draft sheet here, and just a guy that I'm really, really excited about, Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee. Like, I think that guy is really damn good. I have him in the tier with Caleb Johnson and Judkins. I'm that high on him, and he obviously doesn't get drafted in the first 3 rounds here. I'm just going to pretend he's the first pick of the 4th round and goes to a great team. But I think, like, man, he just has the complete package. Like, he reminds me of like the concerns we had about Bucky Irving, which was size. But everything else is like, oh, but he's good at breaking tackles and he's fast. Bucky Irving wasn't fast, but the production's there, the film's there, all that kind of stuff. So like, it's hard to ignore everything else. So I'm just really, really excited about. Where did actually I'm going to take Jalen Royals here for for Team 11, who he goes to the Packers. Throw another wide receiver there, but I don't know. I'm just like, I've been thinking a lot about the Packers, and I know they kind of like this idea of like, oh, we don't have a number one wide receiver. We have like 4 number one wide receivers. Like, no, you don't. It's not working. I think I know they're not bad, but I don't think they're necessarily like a great offense. It's like you need a number one receiver to like dictate coverage on the defense. Like you just do. You need defenses to be able to react to someone, and it's like just figure that crap out. Is it Jaden Reed? Is it someone else? I don't know. It's just frustrating.
They don't even seem to play Reed all the time.
They don't. That's the issue.
Crazy, and he seems to be their best playmaker. If you ask me,
I remember talking about that early on in the year when he was going off, and I was like, not to like pour water on the fire type of thing, but it's like he's not playing a lot, so I don't know if this is going to last. That's kind of what I was saying. Like, sure, it's hitting now. Maybe he's the exception to the rule, but also he's playing less than 60% of the snaps, and usually you can't rely on those guys. And then it turned out like, yeah, he became a very inconsistent player. Reed can't reliably get open. Yeah, I mean, so that's going to be the issue, right? Oh yeah, I wanted to pause. Yeah, thank you for reminding me there. Okay, first 2 rounds. Let me know what you guys think. Best pick, favorite pick, best value pick, and all that. Brian, you went back-to-back quarterbacks, just kind of taking the value there, right? I mean, it's super flex.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Ward going to the Titans and Dart to the Browns. It's like, who is Kenny Pickett really going to stop them from getting on the field halfway through the season? You'll know what you have.
I think Dart is like Kenny Pickett Jr.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he becomes Kenny Pickett the first, and then.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, he just kind of looks like him and whatever.
Oh, really?
Well, kind of. I mean, in a roundabout way. So.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, quarterbacks, we say it all the time. Easiest or cheapest place to get them is the draft. I know we usually say that in terms of startup, but it's the same thing in rookie only. So
yeah,
why not? I would have taken Milroe in the 3rd if he didn't go at the end of the 2nd.
Well, he went to the Giants, and right now, Giants' only quarterback on their team is Tommy DeVito. And they don't take one in this draft until Milroe. So we assume that means they got Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. But if they didn't, yeah, I mean, you're looking at, like, that's easy. Jalen Milroe. This probably should be even a little bit higher. But Daddy went Judkins, which I thought was a good pick. I mean, you obviously like the landing spot of the Chiefs, right? I mean, does he overtake Pacheco, or do you think it's a little bit of a split there year one, or at least the first 6 weeks?
He could, I think it's kind of right. Now Kareem Hunt's back, but if they find their, what do they call it, bell cow running back, and if he's able to, sustain a lot of touches and carries and things like that, he could get the majority of them. But
yep,
my second guy, Arroyo, he wasn't even, according to your draft sheet, he wasn't even drafted. So
yeah,
it's kind of wonder what's going on. He was at one time he was the 3rd tight end.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is he falling down, or people don't like him, or something? But
I don't know. This is just one mock, right? So you never know. But let's see what some of the chat says here. They say Hunter at the 201, Ibuka at the 202. Yeah, I mean, that's why I love this draft. That's why I love early 2nd round picks. Is because you're like, oh, I just got a 1st round wide receiver at the 202, but then you look and it's like, well, you can't really argue Ibuka too hardly. Like you can't passionately argue for them over these other guys. Like Tyler Warren was a top 15 pick in a tight end premium league. Matthew Golden was a 1st round pick. The running backs we know are going to be good. Travis Hunter, so it's just like someone's going to fall there. Another Hunter at the 201 on the pass is crazy. Ibuka at the 201. Yeah, the Hunter stuff is just going to be, it's going to be hard to know exactly with Travis Hunter until we actually know.
And if you're sitting if you have an early pick like that you acquired through trade, use that to your advantage to tier up your guy. Be like, look, this guy's sitting right here, and upgrade a player with that,
Yeah, absolutely. Still some good players out there, like guys that still have top 50 draft capital. At least one guy, according to this draft and stuff. Take both of those guys. I'm more a Golden over Abuka and Golden over Hunter. If Golden's going to go top 20 first round, without really knowing about Hunter. Obviously, if Hunter goes or plays wide receiver, then he'd be maybe my wide receiver one. Hampton goes to an okay spot in the second. Ted goes to a great spot in the top 10 is their first round realistic spot that Genty could land in that would make Ted. I don't think so. I don't think Ted can overtake Ashton Genty. It's just we've been hearing the name since November now, at least, maybe earlier. His name, Ashton Genty, he's the 101. He's been the 101 since we started doing this. And early, the week after the season ended, I don't think Ted will overtake him. And I think Ted actually might fall a little bit in the draft. I think there's a chance at least. I think Ted's really good though. So if Hunter goes to the Pats or just plays wide receiver majority, has a very real chance. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I saw someone mention something about, and I'm trying to find it. Maybe it got, with how Joseph mentioning with how few running backs hit past round 3 are all the picks from Devin Neal on kind of mush, which is interesting because I think running backs actually have the best. And I was pulling up my document, and again, I'm going to release this in the Discord, so you guys can kind of check it out and do with it what you may. But running backs, I think, past day 3 are the best position to bet on. It's either running backs or tight ends. Quarterbacks and wide receivers just don't hit at all. The percentage of wide receivers drafted 4th round or later, so 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th, the hit rate is just, it's nothing. It's let's see here, 3% hit rate for the 4th round, 8% for the 5th round, and then 0% for 6th and 7th. There's literally hasn't been a wide receiver drafted in the 6th or 7th. And I'll release it with all my what I consider a hit, and I made it pretty obtainable so that it was to get a real view of if these guys are hitting or not. And so yeah, running backs do tend to hit a little bit more. Their numbers here, Dad, you are on the clock. I don't know if you know that again.
I didn't.
45 seconds there. And so for running backs, it's 13% in the 4th round hit compared to 3% for wide receivers, 16% in the 5th round, and then 0% 6th round, 3%. 6% in the 7th round. So a lot better hit rates for running backs compared to the other positions. So Aaron Jones is the 5th round pick. I have the names here. We're going back to 2015. So, Marlon Mack had a couple seasons there. Tony Pollard, 4th round pick. Ramondre Stevenson, Chuba Hubbard. Bucky Irving was a 4th round pick.
What about James Robinson, undrafted?
Yeah, undrafted's always a little tricky, just because I did find that undrafted players were actually better than I think 6th and 7th round picks, and I think a lot of that has to do with that they get to choose who they go to versus being drafted to that team. So it's I'm going to go to this team that develops wide receivers or needs wide receiver help or something, right? Rather than just being drafted to a team and not having the choice. Okay, Jalen Noel went. I haven't even kept up here. Harold Fannin went. Isaiah Bond, Io Manor. Did Besh go? He did. I like Besh. All right. Let me make my pick. Someone I'm kind of excited about is, I know he didn't get drafted here, but Jaden Blue out of the University of Texas. I think he can be just I don't know if he's going to be a workhorse guy, but I think he's very good at catching the ball. So I think he's going to at least have that in the next level, at the next level, and then who knows beyond that what he gets. Like, but I think I can feel pretty confident he's going to have. Did Restrepo go? Oh yeah, he did. He's going to have that pass catching role there. So I'm going to go ahead and take him, and then I'll take Torrey Horton. I kind of like Torrey Horton out of Colorado State. So, yeah, so there are definitely some undrafted guys there. 5th round picks: Jay Ajayi, Jordan Howard, Aaron Jones. Even guys like Algier and Jerome Ford, Kyron Williams, Chase Brown, Tyrone Tracy last year. Chris Carson, 7th round pick, Isaiah Pacheco, even Myles Gaskin had a season and 2 seasons there of like at least having him on your bench. What's that?
I was gonna take Bashal Tootin.
I like him.
All right, back up.
Bashal Tootin. By the way, if we do hit 12 likes, we're gonna fire up another one. We'll do a 3-round rookie draft, kind of get through it a little quicker, but we need 12 likes. So I think we're at just 7. So if we can get 5 likes here in the next, by the time this round ends, we will fire up another one. If not, that's okay. We'll just talk a little bit and then we'll head out. That's fine too.
We're definitely at the part of the draft where I'm like, shit, I really need to look at some of these guys because
yeah, I mean they're all dart throws, right?
I think that's everybody.
There's still some couple of tight ends, right?
Yeah, I mean the 2 guys that I had starred still were the 2 that got taken right in front of me.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely running backs are kind of like the best bet for late round picks for sure. And it makes sense, right? Like it's very easy for a running back to take over and all of that. So Gunnar Helm to the Eagles in this mock is a no-brainer. Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good pick there. Although people sleeping on Dallas Goedert, like always, man. Always sleeping on Dallas Goedert. I don't know why. I don't know why people hate Dallas Goedert, but
maybe it's the city he plays in.
Maybe. I know he hasn't been able to stay healthy the last 3 years, which is obviously an issue. But when he plays, the guy's good. Like even last year in 10 games, I think he averaged like 4.5 catches and 50 yards a game. Like that's pretty good for a team that hardly threw the ball.
Yeah.
So
last year of his contract. This year.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not saying for this year, but yeah, I mean,
there we go, 3-0 Michigan.
I agree with Garlic Bread's laying down there. It's like, I mean, it's kind of hard taking tight ends, in the 4th or even like in the 3rd round. Tight end premium. Like you might end up holding these guys longer than you should. Because you want to be patient with them, but at the same time, like you're playing the waiting game. So, I mean, it's a necessary evil for sure. But
yeah.
So Ultimate Tiger took 1 Michigan running back. I'll take the other.
Converted
I finally get to pull.
Go Blue.
In our original Dynasty League, I finally get to pull Brenton Strange off the taxi squad. Partially because I have to, but
yeah, he's isn't he gonna be the starting tight end there in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
As of now. I wouldn't be surprised if they took Warren 5th overall. Like, and I don't see why they shouldn't either if they feel like he's legit, because there's not many, blue chip prospects in this draft, and like he's already projected to go like 8th or 9th. It's like, well, it's taking him 5th really that much of a reach? So real quick before we respond to that, or even if you want to, I mentioned this. Dylan Gabriel, I'm intrigued by, outside of, Cam Ward, Sanders, Dart, maybe Milrow, just because of the foot rushing production. I think Milrow could have like a sneaky, like, I think the guy's pretty good. And if he was just 3 inches for it, if he was just a few inches taller, he might be where like Jackson Dart's going and stuff. Like I think he is like a sneaky. If there's anyone outside of like that top 3 or 4 that could, just do something. And again, I'm not super high on him necessarily. I don't think he's going to be a star or anything, but he's definitely one of those guys there. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. By the way, Tej Johnson, he got drafted in this draft. Yeah, he went to the Jets, which I guess people don't like. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Warren goes to the Jags there. So, what do you guys think about Michael Mayer projections this year in the Pete Carroll offense? More 2 tight ends since trade fodder. I hope they trade him.
Wasn't he a first rounder?
Second. I think,
Second. Yeah. Okay.
But a lot of people talked about him. He was in the Kincaid, Laporta. He was in that draft where like Kincaid, Laporta, him, Strange, Musgrave went in the second round. I think there was one more player too.
Didn't Kraft also go in the second?
He went in the third. Yeah. Kraft went in the third, but yeah, he was part of that draft as well.
Well, he had the most. Didn't he have the most? He was talked about the most leading up to the draft. It seemed like
it was him or Laporta. Kincaid, who people were going back and forth on.
Yeah.
Who was the tight end 1 in this draft? So, and then it went Kincaid, Laporta, and then Mayer right after Laporta. By the way, I don't think we hit our light goal, which is okay. We'll answer a couple questions here for the next 15 minutes, and then obviously we'll have plenty more of these. So I rookie drafts. I do hope they trade Mayer though. I don't expect much. I mean, I'm just trying to think back to like Pete Carroll in Seattle, like what tight ends were really anything. I know they had Jimmy Graham there for like a couple years, but they didn't really have.
Yeah, he wasn't in his prime anymore. But
no, I'm just trying to think of like the Seahawks. Like who else? Who did they have for tight end in those years?
I don't know.
They didn't really have anyone.
It was all about Marshawn Lynch, and then people like Doug Baldwin and
Golden Tate
and Nate Burleson, I think, was there for a little while.
Yeah. So Marvin says he really needs some advice. BTJ for Bijan. He has Jamar Chase, St. Brown, BTJ, and Myers. His running backs are Pollard, Charbonnet, and Walker. And then he says he wants to move Kraft and Pollard for picks. A wide receiver. His running back depth is not there. 14-man Superflex tight end premium. He has the 205, 207, 307 in a 14-man. He placed second last year. He traded away Kyron. I don't want to trade BTJ for Bijan straight up. I love Bijan, but like I think BTJ is special, and wide receivers are always going to be more valued than running backs. Like I don't think it's necessarily a bad trade, but I don't think I would do it straight up. I think I'd want a little bit more for BTJ. Because like, would you guys trade Chase, Lamb, Jefferson, Puka, Amon-Ra, any of those guys just straight up for Bijan? Which side would you take? The wide receivers or Bijan?
Yeah, I would take the receivers.
Yeah, do you the same there? Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Amon-Ra.
Yeah, of course.
And so like
I'm not as of what we've seen right now, last year was his best year, but I'm sticking with the wide receivers.
Yeah. And so I think like BTJ's maybe already there. I mean, Keep Trade Cut already has him wide receiver 5 ahead of Amon-Ra and Puka, which, you can argue that whatever, they're in the same tier. So like, but I think it's like solidified if he has another good year, takes the next step, or, looks good with Trevor Lawrence. So I don't want to do that. He mentioned he has a lot of picks, 205, 207, 307 in a 14-team league. Like you might be able to get, I think one of those could turn into a starting running back. And I don't think your running backs are terrible. Like Pollard he's severely underrated in my opinion. He was a low end RB2 last year. And then you have Charbonnet and Walker. And hopefully one of those guys is good for you. And then can you hit on a running back with these with those 3 picks, in this draft, it was what? DJ Giddens, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon, one of those guys hit, probably. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the nice thing is too that he said he already got the first for next year, right?
He says he traded away Kyron for a 1 and Pollard in 2026. Yeah, he got a first in 2026.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can just draft guys with your picks this year and, see how it goes for 6 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
And if if you're starting off like strong, especially comparatively, like even if you're 3-3, but you would have beat most other teams, it's like maybe you start thinking about trading some of that 26 capital to really make a push,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like you got 2 firsts. So, and if you don't, then that's all right. You still have 3, top 8 receivers basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just using
absolutely.
as depending on how people rank them.
Yeah. And it's not like you're super deep. I mean, you're deep because you have Chase, St. Brown, and BTJ. But BTJ's gone, you're not as deep. You have Chase and St. Brown, and then Jacoby Myers is a solid player, but he's not one of those blue chip kind of prospect or pieces. So I think I'm keeping BTJ, and I'd want to, if you threw an early second, obviously a first, another starter in there, I'd probably be okay with it. But I also important, Marvin, like your league settings. If you have any type of settings that are like it's like point per carry or it's really favoring running backs, then I would take this. This is assuming it's just like a standard either half or full PPR, nothing else added on there. So down fun sense, this is such an odd off season. I feel like there are more teams than usual where I just don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. Yeah, there are a few of them.
It's different. It's the old musical chairs, and there's going to be a team or two that's not going to have a chair when the music stops playing. So, Joe Flacco is going to be the opening day, or Kenny Pickett, or
Jameis.
Who knows? Those guys are going to play, though. I'm telling you, we've seen enough injuries and weird things happen. You can never, I think we've all learned. I know I've learned, we've been playing Dynasty 3 or 4 years now, and you can't have enough quarterbacks, and they're hard. You can't get them off the waiver wire. So what did you say, Brian? The cheapest time to get them is at the draft, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think every year there's going to be at least 4 quarterbacks that are probably on the waiver, depending on the roster depth, though. If it's a 14-teamer, you got to imagine. Yeah, you got to imagine there's over 50 quarterbacks rostered.
Yeah, our Dynasty league that I'm talking about is only 10 teams, so.
Yeah, ours is a lot more shallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see it in the other leagues with 12 teams.
Yeah.
Guys like Milroe and Dart and the Louisville quarterback and Will Howard, and those aren't necessarily guys to ignore in the 3rd and 4th round.
No, I'm just kind of looking at it right now. So like teams that need a quarterback, obviously you have the Titans, Browns. I'm just going down the list here. Titans, Browns, Giants. You can argue, no, not the Jets anymore. Saints I don't think they have Carr, but like you can argue Saints. Indy, like potentially needs a quarterback. I don't think they're necessarily going to go after someone, but
the Bears. No, I'm just kidding.
Bears, yeah. Seattle got their guy. Tampa, Denver, Pittsburgh, everyone else. So you got 5 teams. I mean, Minnesota is a little bit up in the air, but you assume they got their guy. You still got 5 teams there. There's definitely not 5 quarterbacks coming up, and there's going to be a couple teams, like you said, they're going to be starting Mason Rudolph, which the Steelers came out and already said we're fine with Mason Rudolph as our as our quarterback. Or who did the Browns just get? Browns just brought someone in besides Kenny Pickett. I thought they just brought someone else in.
Signed him or like talking to him?
I thought there was another quarterback besides Pickett that they just brought in.
Russell Wilson?
No. I'm talking about like it's like, oh my God, you're choosing between Pickett and this guy. Like it's that type of level. Like there's not a lot of great situations. So yeah, I agree. I mean, Cowboys don't pay anyone. It's like they haven't paid anyone like a significant contract since like 2015. Anyone outside of their own guys, like re-signing their own guys. So Marvin says Kraft with a 301 and a random 26 second. He says he has Hawkinson, Jonnu, and Kraft. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I'd roll with Hawkinson and Jonnu and get the 301 and a 26 second.
It's a little tough because it is tight end premium 14 team, right? Like I feel like you should be able to get a little bit more than that, but I don't know what. Like I would try and I mean, I guess it depends on what the starting lineup is too. Because but I would look, maybe that's where you look at trying to get trade Kraft for a running back, maybe even just like a backup. Or at least like the 1B guy. I'm trying to think of a good example.
I mean, guys that are pretty far down the list, like a Jordan Mason.
I know that's exactly who I was thinking of, but I don't think I would do Kraft for Mason straight up. Like
no,
maybe Kraft plus that third. See if you can get that done. Kraft in that or Kraft for Mason in that third. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I guess that guy would have to have this. Never mind. I mean, that's a little specific, but
yeah,
someone in that range.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Someone in that range. I mean, even like a Javonte, I don't mind taking a throw on that. Maybe I'd want the second in Javonte, but or if you down tier to we talked about tight ends like Jonnu. You already have Jonnu. Cole Kmet, Dallas Goedert. Are pretty they're undervalued in my opinion. Jonnu Smith, but you already have him, is pretty undervalued. So I don't mind it. It does feel like you can get a little bit more in a tight end premium 14 team, like you said. So because you have three guys that could all be in like the top 10 easily next year.
It's fucking Matt Corral. I haven't heard that name for a while.
Matt Corral is better than. Oh, that's who it was. Yeah,
is he on a team?
I think it was Matt Corral that the Browns signed. No, he's playing for the Birmingham Stallions of the UFL. So maybe he's from Ventura.
He's backing me up.
I didn't know he was from Ventura.
What?
He's from Ventura.
Oh, maybe he's Newberry Park.
No, he was born in Ventura, California.
Okay.
That's just where I don't want to give away our location, but that's close to where we live. Oxnard. Damn it!
I know you don't live here, Mike.
Find me.
I don't. All right, well, we'll get to these last things by Marvin, and then we'll let everyone go. He said, should he trade up my 26 first and shoot for Dart at the 109? It's difficult to get a quarterback. Yeah, if it's a truly random 26 first, I don't think I would do that, Marvin.
Well, he said that he finished second last year, so you got to, and plus we know part of his lineup.
But it's not his. I was assuming he was trading the second 26 first that he got in the Kyron trade.
That's
but
true.
Maybe it's his. Maybe it's.
Yeah, he does say my, but.
Okay, yeah, he did say my. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, it is his. Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think that's bad. I don't know if I would take Dart there at the 109 unless he does get like first round capital or something, but he could fall to you. I mean, at the 113, the 201. Well, I mean, if you really like him, Marvin, then yeah.
He said he has the 205, so I imagine that's his first pick. So he doesn't have his first.
That's true. That's true. I mean, if you really believe in Dart and he does get at least, like in this draft, he goes day 2, pick 1 of day 2 to the Browns, like then I'm fine with it. Like if you really believe in it and quarterbacks are hard to come by, like yeah, I mean, sure, Sanders might even be there, but I thought it was Matt Corral. Yeah, keep us updated, Marvin. Marvin, if you're not in our Discord, hop in there and kind of keep us updated. There's a trades channel, and you can get some advice there. So
you can always post a link to your league also, which helps.
Yeah, we do team reviews, Marvin. If you want to get in that Discord, we'll review your team happily and kind of go through moves that you can make and stuff as well. So
sounds like he's doing his homework though.
Oh, for sure. I need to get on a couple of these orphan teams. I've orphaned the orphan teams. So
yeah, I mean, shit. I think I have 10 Dynasty leagues this year now.
Nice.
Thanks.
Let's get another one.
No, I already did. You got
no,
2.
let's get a third.
We're not even in prime season yet. Like July or August.
I know. We got redraft, but anyways, we're probably gonna take off. You traded your first for Ingram before you got Otten and Kraft. Yeah, that's tough. So you have it? Did you trade away Evan Ingram because you didn't list him on your tight end list there? Because he actually might be pretty good this year.
Yeah, if you got Ingram and Otten still, definitely trade Kraft. Like you're flush.
Yeah, for sure. I would assume he doesn't, but we're gonna take off. We'll be back Saturday morning. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I might do like a I don't know. We might put together like a list of guys that are kind of ranked outside of like a top 40 or 50 at each position, or at least running back, wide receiver, and like some guys that we think could be something for fantasy, something like that. Sunday we'll do a startup mock draft with we got a couple startups starting in one in March 30th and one a week after that. So we'll do a startup mock this Sunday as well, Sunday evening. So appreciate everyone. Marvin said he's joining the Discord, which is great. And yeah, we'll be back. Any last words? Go Blue.
Yeah, it's 15-8. So
what if they play a team that's also the color blue? What are you saying there?
Nothing.
Go blue. Go yellow.
No, it's Michigan's monopolized it, so we don't have to worry about that.
Oh, is it like trademarked?
I don't know, but
they're playing UC San Diego. They should win. Come on.
Yeah, they're 18-2 and 30-4. They're not chumps.
It's because they're playing like Cal State Channel Islands or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're out of here. Enjoy the basketball if you enjoy that. And yeah, appreciate everyone hopping in and all the questions. A lot of fun. So see you guys Saturday morning.